Hello. I'm sorry I'm late. My husband and I decided to go out to eat a bite, and obviously that is the time the nerve started acting up, right? How could it be something else than that? So walking and stuff took me way longer. I'm so sorry. Let me. That is the wrong tab. Yes. Hello! Hey, I just got home right on time for the live show, and then I was late. Also, my comments I had to change, but that I was too late for that. I'm sorry. So you're either gonna see a weird screen, or there will be no comments on the screen. Tell me which one, and we'll make that work. Hello, Judith. How you're doing? Good question, Aidka. How is everyone doing? Hello, how's everyone doing? Had dinner, so joined a bit late. Denise is late. Yeah, I was late. I'm so sorry. I'm taking a break from editing. Judith, this is the most. I think everyone on YouTube gets this. It's totally fair. It's totally fair. Yes, I am in pain. I have been in pain yesterday and I have been in pain today. It seems to be okay today, so we decided to go to the restaurant. It turns out it's not okay, but I had major dessert. Life is better with dessert, so we're fine. Yeah, it's after this I just really have to lay down. And then it's probably gonna be all right tomorrow. If not, it's fine. I have nothing planned tomorrow, so we will be all right. Hello, Larissa. How you doing? No apologies necessary. Let me put on the lighting. I think that will help a bit. Because today we're here to talk about be prepared. Normally we talk about atmosphere, characters, plot, spoilers. However, this being a graphic novel, I feel like we need to add a category, and that's art. So how about we go atmosphere, characters, art, plot, and spoilers? Because I feel like as soon as you're starting talking plot, the spoilers are coming quick. But I feel like when we're gonna talk art, it might be getting into a plot real quick. I do, if you guys don't mind, gonna give you a weird screen for a second, just to make sure I can put the comments on the screen. Second. Just 2-time loading screen. There, now they work again. So said to hear you're in pain. Yeah, it's a battle. It looks to work good, but now that the doctor asked me, please do not start everything back up immediately. So I didn't. He was like, please be careful. Do not start gardening tomorrow. It's like, I won't. But now I am actually starting to put my life together and do shit like that. It turns out that my nerve does not like it. And I don't know really where the text is. The problem is that when I'm doing the stuff, the nerve is not letting me know that they don't like it. And then, I obviously keep doing it. And then at some point they're gonna be like, no. And I thought the gap was at 3 days. that's why I did not do anything on Sunday for camp. Basically, just, to take care of it. And then I did, obviously, sprints on Monday. Didn't really do anything on Tuesday. Still, and had pain. Woke up without pain this morning, and now it's already like, no, lady. So I don't know really where the cap is at this moment. My mic did act up, but for a first look it was okay, so I continue to edit the next one. But that is totally fine. And we have all this weird stuff. In the beginning, I'm still finding my style. I'm now recently really learning about lightning. And I did actually order mics for vlogging to try to get the sound up, but then I got the wrong ones. So I'm also still in that learning process. I love the dress. Thank you. It had a really cute bow in the back, but my bag, the chairs in the restaurant were not good. So my back and my nerve are acting up right now. So I got the bow off. I was like, I don't want anything in my back right now. Also really love it, but thank you. Sounds good. I like the art and the camp, right? I've done with my niece. I always know after. Yeah. And I don't really know where the boundaries are. They're not as far as I think. That might be clear. I also have the feeling that it is worse this week than it was the last time I got reprimanded for doing too much, which would not be a good sign. Because then it means the treatment is wearing off. So, we'll see. However, I absolutely did love the artwork in this. Atmosphere though, I'm not sure. It heavily depends on which part of the book we're at. The first part, I absolutely hated the atmosphere. But I also feel like it was meant to be that way. I do think this is set up to show how difficult it can be being from a different background and a different culture than the people that you live with or the people that surround you. And therefore, the atmosphere was terrible. But I think it is meant to be terrible. I still did not like it though. And I do think all my problems with the book lay in the beginning of the book. Those were my two things where I'm not sure if I would recommend this book. Even if I did enjoy it. I did enjoy the story. I don't know if it's spoilers if I say what I did not like. So we'll do that in the spoiler part. And then obviously the atmosphere in the camp was still how do we say this nicely? The only word that comes to mind is tight, but that's not the word I'm looking for. Like the atmosphere, tense, that is it. The atmosphere in camp, especially at the start, it was still tense. But I did feel that there was a backup there, right? With the camp leaders, and I did love how the camp leaders were trying to help and be there for Farah, but still letting her find it out on her own terms, in her own way, which I really enjoyed. And then the last part was super cute and wholesome to me, so I love the atmosphere of that. And I do think that the art being all green definitely helped with the camp atmosphere and being in camp and how that experience can be. So I do think the artwork helped with the atmosphere on it. The artwork was amazing. Yeah. Yes, I really didn't like most of the book. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, the start really makes the reader understand Vera's situation and empathize with her. I do think that is intended to. However, if I'm gonna be honest, I'm not sure if it made me sympathize with her at all. I don't know if it did that for me. The greenest focus colors. Yes, I really enjoy that one. At one point, I didn't even see it anymore. That was all green. I get what you're saying. Yeah, it definitely. I definitely feel like it was good. The atmosphere was good enough for me to feel like I was there at camp and could see it in different shades than just green in my mind. That's true. Yeah. I felt so sad during the first part. The second part was better, but ending had me going sad again. Oh, yeah, I get it. But I also felt that it was very strong for both characters to admit that, and very strong that the message of not everything seems what it is. And I absolutely love the author's note in this. The author's note of Be Prepared really made the book more for me. Overall, more. I don't like Eva at all. Yes. I don't think she's a very likable character. Agreed, Judith. Yeah. Farah, yes, Farah, yeah. And yeah, maybe empathize is a bit more. Yeah, no, it's I love that it did, if it did that for you. It was just like, did it do that for me? I definitely empathize with her. I felt similarly weird and not fitting in when I was a kid. It's just the kids around me had the decency not to be mean and rather just ignore me. Yeah. And with that, I could identify and I could see it. But I also felt she chose the popular kids that she basically chose the mean girls to be trying to be friends with, and I was like, I'm sure there are other kids at your school. You could have tried to be friends with them. I would love if Farah would have been friends with the one that also got bullied. I would, because she did fail something there. And I would love if she would have stood up for that person. No, we're trying not to. I'm trying really hard not to, but it's hard. It's hard, Larissa. We still need to do the characters and the plot without spoilers, if at all possible. Same, but they still make me dislike it. Yes. Made some choices that made me dislike. Yeah. I don't think Farah was a likable character. I don't think there were a lot of likable characters in that book. However, I did like the camp leader. What was her name? I can't find her name. Oh, Natasha. I did like Natasha. I did have nothing for the. There was nothing against the younger children, but we didn't get to know them that much. So it was hard to say if they were likable. I did not like any of the boys, but I think if, you're doing a teenage story from a girl's point of view, that is, then all boys are unlikable, right? That is how it is. I'm also trying hard, right? That's a fair point, but that still doesn't make you feel better. For me, it did. Because I sometimes didn't feel the same or fitting in or whatever. But when I stopped trying to fit in with the popular kids and found my people, the other nerds, I did felt like fitting in. And it did make me feel better. We need to read rumors. Yes, no, absolutely. Like, she's not a likable character, but I don't think she has to be a likable character either. She is just going through something. And I did love the ending, and I was happy for her with the ending. That is true, Larissa. Yeah, I feel like the choices that she made and how she reacts to certain situations are very typical. Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. But then again, it can be different as a kid as well. And if she would have been that kind of kid, I would have liked her. And I felt it was more difficult for her, probably because she got into that group that she did. Yeah. Yeah, I never found this kid I fit in. I just found some kids who were not fitting in either, but we didn't fit in. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I had luck. I found some as nerdy people as I did. And, I obviously have a lot of interest, so it is easier to fit in with somebody at all if you have at least one interest in comic. And since I had so many, I could always find another nerd that had at least one of the same interests as me. You made some questionable decisions or acts in general, especially in the camp, but we all made mistakes. Yeah, and I don't blame her. I just love when kids stand up for each other or for themselves. And that would just have made me very happy to see. I moved a lot, so I was the new kid and also nerd all the time. That didn't. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I always was the, busy one with the troubles at home. Luckily, I had a very big mouth. So nobody bullied on me because they didn't dare to. So that helped. Obviously. But I was always the kid who befriended the bullied ones. I have, had fights at school. But I was always fighting for kids that got bullied with their bullies. Also, never get why you can't go alone to the... Yeah, me neither. I can go to the toilet fine alone. I can handle myself. Thank you. I do not like talking on the toilet either. Is there anyone here that does not want spoilers? Because I feel like we are not getting to the point. We're dancing around it. And if everyone here is fine with spoilers, I think let's do it. Just go into the spoiler mode, basically. But I want to hear if you're all okay with it. Just to make sure, because it is hard to talk about this book without spoilers, and it's also hard to tell you why I didn't like the things I didn't like. We can do spoilers. Yes, that would be so helpful. Yes, please, Larissa, tell me the spoilers. Tell me the spoilers. So, the two things I did not like. Well, both on the sleepover. So we start this book with a sleepover, and apparently they were with the rich kids. Which I do feel like the difference between rich and poor is very well written down. I always was the poor kid, and I did have a lot of rich friends. That was kind of the nature of the school where I went to and the town I grew up in. The things I did not like, though, very much did not, was the comment about fat camp, one child sent to fat camp. Why? Why is that a thing? Is that a real name? Is that not? Are we gonna talk about that? How ridiculous that is? Or, and we didn't. Like, it was just mentioned. Apparently, there is a child fat in this, which I personally could not detect from the pictures. So, and I don't know if this is a commentary on Russian culture from this author, because I haven't had somebody in my close circle from Russian culture, so I honestly don't know if this was satire or not. But this year my mom is sending me to fat camp in the Poconos, and nobody says anything about it. And I'm like, excuse me? Sorry? I did not. Right? So, I don't really want to recommend this book if it is gonna hate on what they call fat people. Because I'm pretty sure that girl is my build. I feel this marketing rather. Yeah, I honestly don't know. But this is from an author that has Russian origins but grew up in America. And I don't know if this is meant to be satire and be like, see how ridiculous we're doing, or if this is so normal to her that it is in this book because this is how she grew up. I was very confused about that. Yeah, that's another one. But at least with that situation, when they called her out for not wearing a bra, I felt that was real. That is what girls do. I have seen it happen. And I do find it very much sad that it is not spoken of later on, or there's nothing. There's nothing that shows you or shows kids that, are the target audience, that this is not okay. We are not gonna call somebody out because she isn't wearing bras yet. We're not gonna call somebody out because she has maybe a bigger build than you are. We're not doing that. That they left during this night. That's... Let me say it nicely, those girls are not likable. No. But also the mom let them. I know you cannot stop the girls, right? But I would at least let them say goodbye. Because now your kid is waking up the next day, said that all her friends, and there hasn't been spoken about it. She hasn't been comforted by her mom. There's nothing. It also took it as that. As back then it was no more. Yeah, and I just wish there was something that let you know this is not okay. Yeah, I did not like that part and how it was never... Yes, that is the problem for me with all the things in this book that are wrong, in my personal opinion. Like fat shaming, bullying for whatever you wear or not, how do you look. But also the Hitler comment in the sleep party. I couldn't let Hitler get away with this evil scheme to ruin the Christmas party. And I was like, what? I have never had kids say that. Like, what? I honestly don't think that is how kids play. And I find it very unnecessary that comment is there. And then later there is another comment about war. And I don't really know how this relate to camp things. Also, I could tell her mom was really doing her all to give the kids her. Yes, that's true. And she seemed to be so great. Yeah. But as much as I hated the kids being ungrateful, I honestly feel that is how it is. I did have kids not wanting to, for a better word, play with me anymore when they found out I wasn't rich. So I honestly feel that is how it works, and that is a realistic portraying of the situation. However, I wished we could see the mom talking with her daughter about it. Again, addressing it afterwards about how that is not okay, but as poor people, you can't really do anything about it, and it's just hard to find real friends in that circle. True, it shows how it was at that time. Yeah, but we're not in that time anymore. And, I'm very glad we're not in that time anymore. And this is not an historic graphic novel. This is a graphic novel that is contemporary. And I can't find the date here that it is released. 2018. So I feel it should be the rest. Well, that was at the first sleepover, and that was the rich American kid who was sent to fat camp, not the Russian kid. And it feels like very American team to have something like that. I honestly don't get why there would be a fat camp. So, again, I don't care which culture it's coming from. Honestly, if I'm completely honest with you, I just want things like this addressed. Like, this is not okay. This is not how you should treat people. So yeah. Yeah. I would have woken her up. Yeah, like, I get it that you don't want to ruin it for your kid. But this also felt very unhonest and just not being there for your kid while it's happening. Yes, I was also weirded out by the Hitler thing after just reading Umbrella Mode. Yeah, it's the girls leaving was so weird. Yeah, absolutely terrible. You do not want to be friends with those girls. Let's be honest. Yeah, that comment made me do it. Yeah, and now like, especially because of that comment, and then there is war stuff in it later. I'm like, I don't know if I want to recommend this because I feel it's very weird. It's almost like there is a political message in this, trying, to be secret about it. And I don't like it. If you have a political message, be honest about it and tell it. But not try to sneak it in a camp book. I kind of felt like it was meant to be so bad and not be addressed. Kids won't call each other out. We were supposed to see how bad it was for her. Or to be. Yeah. And I feel that. The problem for me is that I don't want this. I don't want kids reading this and seeing this as an example. And I think you could still feel how bad it is for her. let's say if you find her crying and her mom is there to pick her up and say, yeah, this is shit, people should not treat you like this, but unfortunately this happens. And this is how you can deal with it, because I think that would actually be very helpful for kids in a situation like this, that they can try those things to see if it works for them, instead of not addressing it. Yeah, and I get that it's a memoir, and that's why it made the book better for me that, it's addressed afterwards. However, it is not sold as a memoir. It is sold as a camping graphic novel for kids. So is this the example you want to set for kids? And I honestly think it is very helpful for kids to see that other people have been in a situation like this as well. But I then want more of the internal dialogue, or the dialogue with somebody else. How are you dealing with that? And I just really miss that in this book. Having the popular real brand items food is ridiculous important for kids, so I kind of get the disappointment because she knew they wouldn't like it. No, absolutely. I honestly think that situation is very well portrayed. It's just, I just want everything to be addressed more, or see how more internalizing how it works and how they get out of a situation like that, how they deal with a situation like that. I would be surprised because it felt a little bit choppy here and there. Yeah, no, it isn't more. It's she basically writes in the end that this is what happened to her. She has been to a sleepover like that. She has been to that camp, and her brother has been to that camp as well. And she actually was thinking at that camp that her brother had a great time, but he didn't. And the message you see, the little note in one of the first pages, was actually a message she wrote to her mom during that camp. I'm not even sure if I want to read the sequel if there ever is one, because there could be another one. Yeah, again, I enjoyed the story. I love the art. However, because of Fat Camp, Hitler comments, not really addressing the bullying, I think Natasha, the camp leader, did somewhat of that. I don't think I would recommend this without saying this is a list of things I did not like. And if you're sensitive to those, might not pick those up. Nick doesn't like people being mean, so I'm sure he will hate this too. Yeah. And I think it would be helpful for kids to see how you dealt with that, or how an adult can help you with it, because, it does feel very isolated and you don't dare to say it to a teacher or your mom or any adult. So I also didn't like the vibe of the camp. It felt a little bit brainwashy. Yeah, I'm not religious. I have been at religious schools, and there we had to read the Bible every day, and I just didn't pay attention. So for me, it was like, yeah, you can do that every week. Kids are probably not gonna really pay attention anyway. And I get it with the song and everything, but I did really like the stealing the flag and stuff, because that is things you actually do. And I did not remember having consequences if you lose, and I didn't really like the punishments, but I did like in the middle of the night trying to steal the flag, and two groups to each other. I did like that part, and I did like that you had to help with indication and stuff like that, because I do think that is camp for me. Yes, it should be sold as a memoir, even though to me it was clear it was inspired by real events, but maybe it should be handled more carefully when it's sold as simple fiction. Yes, and I would be fine if kids knew this is a book wrote by somebody that also got bullied as a kid and is from this culture. Then it would be different to me. Although I honestly, in a perfect world, would still like that same book teaching the kids how to deal with it, because I think that's very important skill to have. But I do think it is marketed wrong. I don't. It's a very brief Hitler comment. It's very brief. It is in a sleepover when they play with the dolls. One of the kids is saying, "Oh, Melly, thank you so much for saving my horse." And then the next comment is, "No problem, complicity. I couldn't let Hitler get away with his evil scheme to ruin the Christmas party." And I just don't. I cannot see where this is fitting. And how they were going from Hitler in a Christmas party. I just don't get it. I'm sorry. I might try the other graphic novel by the other Anya's Ghost to see if that one is better. That one has been on my list for a while. And it's about depression. So it was high on my list. However, now that I have read this, where I feel that some of the comments aren't they're a bit too harsh for me, maybe. Like the fat camp and, Hitler and things not being addressed. But if that would happen with depression, I would get very angry. Because depression is no joke. So now I don't really dare to try it anymore. Because I felt like I would want the depression topic, it should be handled delicately and with care and subtle, and not that rude, that hard. With depression, that would make me mad. Didn't even know it was by the same author. No, it was because when we were all reading it, somebody said it. Then I know, oh, maybe I'm not trying that one. Yeah, my dad also thought my scouting was a girl. Oh, really? Huh. Yeah, no, my scouting was not. It was fine. It was just a bunch of kids meeting every Saturday, and sometimes we go to the woods and play games. I also thought it would have some bits about getting badges. I remember some of the girls show badges, but we never see. No, and I was hoping for the badges, obviously. That is why I love Lumberjanes, because honestly, I get inspiration for the badges, right? Because of those books. So I was hoping this book would give me inspiration as well. Although there was a test. And I know they have to tie knots for it, but I don't know anything else. I'm still surprised the pet survived for that long in the well, by the way. Yes, very well. I did love it, though. I was happy because I could not handle another negativity thing in the book. So I was very glad the hamster survived. And that he brought it back to the girl. And she was also immediately like, "It's only a week left, they're probably gonna let you keep it." The hamster, yeah. Yes, I also hope she will do that. Yeah, so I'm not daring to try it yet. because obviously the past 7 months haven't been great for my mental health. So I haven't been depressed, but I have had to make arrangements again to not get depressed. Luckily, I know how to do that because I have been depressed multiple times. So I know the early signs and how to act to not get depressed. But I had to do that. So if I would read a book about depression now that is not handled delicately, I'm probably gonna be pissed. So this is also not the right time for me to try. My scout was fine too. It was just at the age to search my independence and search myself and found scouts and cared about their opinions more than my dad, and he couldn't stand it yet. Parents can have a problem with that. I honestly felt like my scouts weren't that active. Like, I wanted to get a load of badges and I barely could because they were not offering that much of an activity. We didn't really meet a lot of different scouts as many times as I don't think I might have seen it once. I'm not even sure. So that was a bit sad for me. Yes, it would have been so sad if it died. Yeah. Yeah. I was afraid she was gonna do it though. Like, and it would have been realistic. I would not have been happy with it though. So yeah, that is why I have a hard time I had a hard time talking about this book. Because the things I did not like, I do not like with a passion. And it makes me really hard to recommend the story. Although I love the artwork. I did like him. I did like, trying to get the flag and girls talking about boys. And I did like she did make a friend in the end, and then she found out that getting that friend was more important for her than finishing tasks. And I did love that growth. And I honestly loved that they were in the car and they were like, I didn't like it. And her brother was, I didn't like it either. And she thought he really liked it. I found that, a strong message of not seeing what you like. But they also decided, we're not doing it again. We have tried. We found out we didn't like it. And that's fine. We're not doing it again. And I think that's a good message to give. You can always try, and if you don't like it, you never have to do it again. I also wanted her to walk to that girl at the beginning already. Yeah. Honestly, I do think it's a mistake of camp leaders to put a 9-year-old with 14 years in the tent. She was just 9. I would put her with the younger kids. And I think she would have a great time at camp if she would have been with the younger kids. So I do honestly think this bad experience is because adults made a mistake here. I did like the girl with the Jenny Pig. Yeah, she was cute. Yes, same you did. Yeah. Yeah, it was very frustrating. But I honestly felt that was the meaning. Being bullied and being in that situation is very frustrated for the character. So I didn't mind that part, that it was frustrating. And I get that Farrah is a kid and she wouldn't stand up for that boy in with the whole group, but I was hoping she would at least go to him afterwards, but she didn't. She did warn him for another sinkhole, but that's it. And I just was hoping there would be a bit more interaction there. Yeah. If she wasn't in the book, it would have been 2 stars. Yeah. Exactly, Farrah should not have been placed in group before. Yeah, that was the start of a bad camp. And that can honestly ruin your camp experience. Like, if that would happen to me, I would probably have never camped again. Like, I get it. That is a very bad experience. You know, so something like that can definitely ruin your experience. Love the squirrels, absolutely, yes. Yes, there's a huge difference between 9 and a 14-year-old. Yeah. And Gregor, the camp leader son, yes, that was the dude that was being bullied so much. Like, I did voltige for a couple of years, and I was very young when I started, and when I was just 11 or 10 maybe, I got called one training, and I didn't know what was going on, and they asked me, like, Denise, can you do a handstand on that one? And I was like, yeah, sure. And they were like, would you show us? And I'm like, sure. So I went on that thing, and there was another girl sitting on it, and I had to lay my feet on her shoulder and then do the handstand, and I did it. And when I did that, I found out that their team member that usually did that routine had fallen off the horse and broke her leg, and nobody else of the girls in that team could perform it. They had all tried but failed. And apparently the trainer there had said, call Denise, she can do it. And that was the point that I got in that team. It was the best team we had. I jumped 2 teams for it because I could do it. And my trainer obviously recognized something in me, and she was like, she has a talent, give her that chance. However, I ended up being in a team with all girls that were 16 years around. They were all going out, and I had no interest in boys at that age. So I didn't really mix there. I still loved it because I loved the sport, and I was actually actively trying to get better, and I wanted to be in a good team, and I wanted to do higher classes, and that's why I'm not sure if I was 10 or 11, because I remember wanting to do solo, but you can only do solo in the year that you get that you will be 12, which was a luck for me because I turned 12 in December, so I had a full extra year of doing so. And I know I had to wait for that to happen. So I think I was 10 when I got into that team. And I've never fitted in that team because I was so much younger. And especially in that age range where so much happens when you start becoming a teenager and puberty hits, it is just a very different world. So yeah, if I did not have the drive to get better and I really wanted to do my own solo, and you have to be at least C class, and that team was C class, so otherwise I would probably have quit at that point because there was no connection with the rest of the team. So I cannot fathom adults putting kids like that with teenagers like that for a recreation camp where they're just a couple of weeks to have fun, because it's not gonna be fun. Because those age ranges are so different. I used to give kids parties, and there's such a difference between kids from 7 and kids that are 8. I don't know what happens, but apparently the moment you turn 8, you get more motive skills, you get little things are easier for you to do, you get double the amount of concentration, and that's like, there isn't much between. Like, there can be weeks in between, but there's such a difference. And I don't know how it, how that can be, how it happens, but it was very clear to me who was 7 and who was 8. You could always tell. And obviously, I've had a child of 5 that had the concentration of an 8-year-old. But she is the only one in 5 years that I have seen get. See, there are always exceptions, but the world is just so different. So yeah, Vera was definitely set up for no funsies there. But I did love the trading with the younger girl. I find it very funny. To blindfold someone and then trying to remember the route. I honestly found that very funny that you would train that to get the sticks. Because the boys have been stupid all the time. And I did like that part. Yeah. That was when I was also like, Vera, no. Now I really don't like you anymore because you know how bad it is. You know how bad it feels. Don't do that to another. You know how bad it feels. Don't do it. So yeah, I think that's everything. That are all my thoughts about Be Prepared. I did overall enjoy the book. I really like the art style. The art style absolutely gave it another star for me. So I think we're gonna end up with 3 stars. That's probably one of the exceptions. My mom could go with me to the hairdresser and I would be happy with the Looking for Wally books. Yeah, like there are always exceptions, but they're called exceptions for a reason. They're with few. They're with few. So I think that was everything for me. Is there anything you still want to share? Feeling that we haven't discussed about this book yet? I get so tired when I have pain. Yeah, the last capture flag in the preparation for it. Yeah, I find it was funny, and I was for it. Yeah, there are always exceptions, and I replace for it a lot. Nothing to add. Great. I like the art style, and overall I liked it, but I wasn't blown away. Yeah, I felt the same, Larissa. I felt the same. Yeah, and it is hard for me to recommend after those comments, those random comments to me. But I do think, overall, I had a fun time. I didn't hate the book. I did enjoy the reading the flag stuff and stuff like that. And I did love that Vera didn't care and just had fun with the younger girl at the end. I think that was good. It was an okay book. Things needed to be addressed, but that didn't happen. And I love the art, so still not sure about my rating. Yeah, it's a hard one, Ape. It's a hard one. Yeah, I don't see myself recommending this one. Yeah. Yeah. But normally, when that happens, I have a very strong opinion about the book. With this one, not so much. So that's a bit weird. Normally, I'm like, no, do not read this book because of these and these and these reasons. I absolutely hated it. The whole book suffers for it. But I felt like, they were almost on one page. If you could rip out that page, it would have been fine. Because I love the start. I love that we started with a sleepover and a pizza party and an ice cream cake. And I was like, that's us. We were all talking about eating ice creams. We're gonna have a pizza party and a sleepover. Like, This is our thing. We got it. Yeah, I do think it is very smart that the author wrote that this has happened to her and that it is a story based on her real life. I think that helped a lot. Absolutely true. That's true. The ending did save it. Yeah. Without the ending, I'm not sure if it would have gotten 3 stars. And I still do think it's a low 3 star. At least this book wasn't as bad as our first buddy read for Camp Enchanted. That one was worse, so, you know. Can only go up from here. We should have gotten back to Lumberjanes. Lumberjanes 3 was great. I'm not that lucky with the Camp Crew book so far. No. Lumberjanes I love. Last year we also did unofficially Lumberjanes, like because most people of us were reading Lumberjanes one. I love that one. The other one was terrible, and I have unhauled it, I believe. Otherwise, I am going to unhaul it. I can't remember what the books were. Yeah, well, we did. Let me get. See if I have it still. Oh, yeah. We had How to Almost Ruin Your Summer. Well, this book almost ruined whole camp for me. This was a 1 star, absolutely hated it. Had to skim read the last half because I could not go through this. I could not finish it for my own live show. So it's not as bad as this one. And I am going to unhaul this. But we also turned out that all of us were reading Lumberjanes pretty much. So this became our unofficial buddy read. And I absolutely loved Lumberjanes, 5 stars. And Lumberjanes 3 was also 5 stars again. So I hate Red Devil. Yeah, same. But this came close to this. Yeah, there were some bits. I'm like, not a fan of Lumberjanes. Oh, I did love that one. And those badges are really, really fun to me. I remember the books were, but can't remember the stories or anything about it. Well, this was a very unlikable character, and there was only just bullying in this book. And there was nothing redeemable. And it was constantly bullying. Nothing addressed at all. So, yeah. We all didn't like it. Yeah, it was with the crazy. And they were very mean to the goat. And that also made me upset. Crazy. Same way to Neville almost ruined my summer, right? It did. Lumberjanes was okay. Oh, yeah, no, I like it. I like it a lot. So we have to choose a good book next time, guys. Let me know. A good camp book. I love the badges part of Lumberjanes. And I honestly get inspiration out of it. So there is something in Lumberjanes 3 that I actually want to do on camp. Because I think it is quite funny. So that's why I love these books. And they're very weird. And nonsensical. And I like weird and nonsensical. But if you do not like weird and nonsensical, I totally get that you do not like Lumberjanes at all. Because they are nonsensical to the max. I very much enjoy them though. We're not gonna tell you. But you all can, I can say that there will be a sort of pre-party for next camp. And there will be competition. But there were some weird paranormal creatures. Yes. It is very nonsensical. I think so far I have seen unicorns, dinos, werewolves, stone-ish persons. Yeah. Talking statues is one of them. Yeah, and there were werewolves that kind of looked like foxes and they had, 4 or 5 eyes. But this, you already have me with this image. That is Red Riding Hood inspired. But I think these are very likable characters to me personally. And I like the group dynamic. I like the badges. I like the page that describes the badge. I wish I could just get the field guide that is constantly referred to. That is where the pages for the badge is coming from. I wish I could get that field guide. I would love it. And I would get so many inspiration out of it. I wish that was possible. I Googled. I can't find it. I'm not that good at Google, so I like that too, but Lumberjanes was a no for me. Yeah, no, it's all fair. I think this is really a hit or miss. It needs to fall right, or it falls very wrong. I like the banter between them. Yeah, that I love it. Getting hyped for next camp. I'm so excited about next camp. I honestly think that is going to be the best camp so far. And maybe other films will be better because some took over at some point. Yes, but I do think it's far into the series. I know Jade is stopped loving it because somebody took over. And I do think that was just because of the art. I'm not sure if the wacky, weird storyline is going to be different. I'm not sure. No, really summer camp schedule today. Yeah, you're falling right into it. I still need to watch Barbara's vlog and Judith's vlog for camp. I think I'm gonna do that tonight or tomorrow. Still have a bit of camp left. At least. So we don't have to give up. I already missed journaling. And I just started journaling for this camp. So that is a bit weird. I haven't been able to journal today and I'm a bit sad about it. So I'm probably going to start another journal. Because this one I specifically want to have for camp. So I don't forget what badges I got. And what I still need to get. Yes, that's why I know about it. Because she has red boat. But find that video where she talks about it will be insane. Because I think it was just in one of her vlogs at random. So it isn't in the title or something. But I'm only at volume 3, so I'm not there. And I think it's gonna happen after volume 15 or something like that. So we will see if I still like it then when I get there. It has been a while ago. Yeah, I don't think that will be easily. I don't think it will be easy to find that one. Before COVID, it could be. Yes, could be. I saw the start kicker for Lumberjanes in special editions. And it looks absolutely amazing. But it's so expensive. I just don't have the money. It is insanely expensive, which Kickstarters usually are. Otherwise, I would have bought it. So yeah, that is it for today. I am going to lay down now for my nerve. Thank you all so much for being here again. This is the true closing time of camp. Now nothing is coming anymore from camp. I did great yesterday. I either drank 2.5 or 3 liter. Today, not so much, but that's also because we went out for dinner and I did drink anything except water there. So I drank, but you know, it's not water. 1 glass to go. Nice, nice. I have half a liter to go. Thanks for the reminder. Very well done. No. Yeah, but it's... that happens, right? When you're going out. So I will try to drink a liter tonight. And then I'm just a tiny bit short. And I'll try again tomorrow. Sometimes you can fail and then, you know, I'll just restart tomorrow. Because I do think, you know, my body is telling me right now more that it needs to drink. And my body is not always giving me that signal. That's why I have problems with drinking so much. So I definitely want to keep up with it. Nick empties my half empty bottle, so I need to get new water. Yes! You do need to get new water. But you know, Nick can join in with his own body. With his own body, not his own bottle, I mean. I have 800 milliliters to go, but I also had 1 tea, so only 6 minutes left, really. Yeah. I had a peach iced tea. You know, in the restaurant, so. That's why I'm like, if I count that, I have had a liter of water. The other ones I drank soda or shit. That's not good. So we're not counting that. But if I count that one peach iced tea, I have drunk a liter. So if I do another liter, I can still make it. That's the plan for tonight. But I am truly gonna go now. Thank you all so much for being here. I have 800 meters to go, but I also had 1 tea, so yeah. Oh, I did say that. See? It is time for me to go. Thank you all so much for being here. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.